Hi, my name's Jesse, and this is my 2001 Honda S2000. Basically what I've done to the car is rims, I put on an NVIDIA Q300, and just a K&N intake, and that's basically it. The rest of it's basically stock. I chose the S2000 because it's a rear-wheel drive car, and I really wanted a rear-wheel drive car. I heard a lot of people have fun with rear-wheel drive cars, and plus I'm a huge Honda guy, so I wanted top-of-the-line Honda, so I just decided to go for the S2000. My favorite part about the car probably is the cluster. I love the way it is, the way the red line goes, and just how it's just all digital. And the engine. The engine, it's a respectable engine. It's you can do a lot to it. You can turbo it, supercharge it, so probably in the future I'll look into that. My future plans with the car is to lower it, hopefully get newer wheels. I want to get real wheels, and I want to get probably a supercharger kit. I want to just keep it as much stock as possible, but still have fun with it. So what got me into cars is my dad. My dad, he's my biggest influence. He taught me everything about cars, and he owned a Civic, an 8th gen Civic. I watched that car be built when I was a little kid. He did tuning to it, everything like that, and that really influenced me to get my license, everything like that. And eventually I wanted to buy a car, and I wanted to buy my dream car, so I wanted a Subaru because I'm a big Subaru guy, but in the end I figured out, you know, I'm not going to be able to afford it, so I decided to go with a Honda, and a respectable Honda, the Honda S2000. When I got into cars, I was 5 years old. My grandfather owned a Pontiac 6000, and the key ignition didn't work properly, so you could start it. And I just decided to start it up being a 5-year-old, and I put it in reverse. It was the first time I drove a car, so it just was an amazing moment. So ever since then, I always wanted to drive a car. And the biggest thing was learning stick. As soon as I got my license, I wanted to drive standard. I had an automatic car and it was so boring, so I sold it and I just bought a Honda Civic, an 8th gen, and it was just stick. And it was the best decision I ever made.
What's up, guys? Today we're in a 2001 Honda S2000. This is the AP1, for those of you guys that don't know. And yeah, guys, we're finally in an S2000. I know I always compare a lot of my cars, a lot of my reviews, I'm always comparing it to an S2000 because I genuinely think the S2000 is one of the best platforms out there. Let's just hit right there. Vtec, guys. I think the S2000 is literally the perfect platform. It has the perfect weight distribution of 50-50. And just the drivability. Like, it's not the fastest car in the world, but in corners, you're having the best time ever. Like, this is literally the upgraded Miata. Like, You can throw it in a corner, no problem, but obviously this is a little bit more powerful than a Miata, so you can't go full flat out on it. So you want to be careful on that, right? But once again, it's like a step up from it, right? So if you were to actually press the gas on a turn, you're going to spin yourself out, especially on an AP1. It doesn't have traction control. Unlike the AP2, the AP1 will literally kill you if you're not careful with it, right? So you gotta have a little bit of experience in the corners. But yeah, guys, you know, just having your top down, it's a nice drive. You know, everything's so engaging. You can't even move the steering wheel at all, but literally the way Honda has set this car up, the driving position is perfect. Like, you're sitting super low to the ground. You're almost, it's like a go-kart in here. Super low to the ground. The diff, the tranny's literally right here. So you're kind of, you have your hand right on top. You know, like, you're resting your arm on the center console and the shifter is literally right here. So it's perfect. And even the shifter, you don't even need a short shifter because Honda's actually put in the shortest shifter ever in this. And it's super short, super notchy, and it's even shorter than most aftermarket short shifters. And that's crazy. For someone who's been modifying cars all their life, coming in this, you're gonna automatically assume that this shifter is aftermarket. But no, like, this is from the factory. And it's so good. It's a nice 6-speed gearbox. Every single shift is super rewarding, and you just want to bang out through the gears. And the gearing in this car is actually really short as well. And it's good because, like, most of the power on this car, it is up top, obviously because of the Vtec. So you want to keep the revs up high when you are trying to power through. But it's kind of good because the Vtec is super aggressive. When you are driving under Vtec, you can literally granny shift this car. And you're just in a regular commuter car, right? You know, you're not spending too much money on gas. Well, this is a small 4-banger at the end of the day, but once you are in VTEC, you're killing a lot of gas. When you're not on VTEC, it's actually not that bad. But like, once again, when you are getting a rear-wheel drive sports car, you're not really looking at the fuel efficiency, so we'll just keep that out of the picture. Initially, the clutch is very heavy. I'm somewhat used to it because I do drive a lot of S2000s. Well, I've driven S2000s before, so I kind of got the clutch right down the first time. Usually for the average person, the clutch is very heavy, so it's a little bit of getting used to. But once you get going, it's absolutely fine, and it's nice. Like, I like the weight of the clutch because with aggressive driving, you can literally just slap the clutch and it's not going to jerk all over the place, and you don't want that, especially with this one. Like I mentioned, it doesn't have the traction control, so you don't want to be slapping all over the place. Next thing, let's talk about the steering wheel. The steering wheel is amazing. Literally, you get the perforated leather, and the bolsters are nice and thick, and they're all in the right places. You got the 3-spoke style, and this thing fits so nicely in your hands. You know, you can literally throw it around. And even the steering feel, like, since we're on the topic of steerings, the steering feel itself, it's super analog. You know, like, there's no play or anything. Like, it's all direct movements. I can literally turn the wheel a bit and the whole car is moving right away. And that's exactly why the S2000, oh, wrong gear. That's exactly why the S2000 is pretty much one of the best driver's cars out there. So this car currently, it's close to stock. There isn't much modifications besides the ESR wheels, which, by the way, looks really nice on this car. The color combination looks absolutely phenomenal. The tire setup, it's kind of a hybrid. It's got cheap Chinese tires into the front, the Nankangs, and it's got some Michelins in the back. So it is somewhat grippy. I still don't trust the tires. Jesse doesn't trust the tires either, so we'll just not go too heavy on the cornering. Also, suspension setup is completely stock. Although there is a few bolt-ons, well, nothing crazy. It just has an intake and it has an NVIDIA exhaust, which I'm a big fan of because, one, I like the style of NVIDIA. I like how NVIDIA has the logo sticking out in the middle. Also, the pedals, nice aluminum pedals. Once again, they are aluminum, so they would tend to slip. But Honda's been nice enough to put some rubber grips on them, which was a nice touch because, once again, it's very confidence inspiring. Also, the brake and the throttle are like literally right next to each other. So heel towing this car is easy. One complaint about this car, once again, it is a very small, tight car. I do have a buddy who daily drives this car. I don't know how, but he does. And I certainly wouldn't because I personally like a little bit more space. There's literally no space in here, so you're nice, snug, and fit, which is really good. You want that in a sports car, but on an everyday, like on like a day-to-day living, you can't really do it unless you're that dedicated. I'm about 5'8", and you know, I just fit in right. I fit in perfectly in this car. So if you were someone smaller, it wouldn't really be a big problem for you. But I do see that if you were a lot taller or like just bigger in size, this car would start to get a little bit uncomfortable on long drives, because your thighs, my thighs, are already touching the edges. But once again, like I said, it's a very engaging feeling and it feels really nice. Okay, so now let's talk about the seats, because the seats in the S2000, like, you don't even need to get aftermarket seats in this. Like, if you were to get aftermarket seats, you're not going full race car with this. The seats in this is so, like, they're so good. They're comfortable, they're leather wrapped, and they're full-blown racing seats. Like, these seats, they hold you in. Like, they're literally Recaros. I'm not sure if they are Recaros. Let me know in the comments down below if they are Recaros, but from what I understand, they're not. But they feel like Recaros, which is kind of weird. They feel really similar to the RSX. And I know the RSX have Recaro seats, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were Recaros. Also, the cockpit, very simple. There's literally nothing here. Everything's just very driver oriented, you know, like all the knobs, all the heater controls, all the climate controls, everything is all to myself. I can literally close, there's like a little a lid for the stereo that I can literally close. So I have no stereo, like I don't have to look at the stereo, so it's just a full-blown race car at this point. But if I wanted to, I just had to press it and boom, I got my stereo right there. So I like how Honda did that. Alright guys, so now we're about to do a launch in this S2000. We're gonna hit Vtec, so attention headphone users. This car is so good, but I feel like Honda's too scared to reattempt it because you can't fiddle with something that's perfect, and this car is literally perfect. And to anyone who says this car's underpowered, sure, on paper it looks like it's underpowered, but like any other Honda, this car feels a lot faster than it actually is. And like I always say in all my videos, that's exactly what you want in a road car. You know, you want to feel like you're going a lot faster. But don't get me wrong, this car is still pretty fast. Like power to weight, this car you're slapping a lot of cars. And you're not just slapping them, you have a huge smile on your face while you're slapping them, because you're having fun behind the wheel as well, right? Thank you so much for watching my video. I want to thank Jesse for coming out all the way from Brampton so that I can drive his beautiful S2000. And this car was, what can I say? It's an S2000. Like, it's amazing. It's perfect, right? And it's very hard to find a version S2000. Like, most of the S2000s they're all modified. And don't worry, guys. There's gonna be a lot. And when I mean a lot, there's gonna be a lot of modified S2000s on this channel. I already have a few lined up for you guys, so don't worry, they're coming up. But it's nice to have a stock S2000 to review, because we're gonna be comparing it to all the really, really insane S2000s that are about to be on this channel. So thank you, Jesse, for coming out. And also, guys, make sure you like and share this video, because that really does help. And also make sure you click subscribe, because I drop a car review every single week. And while you're there, make sure to click that bell button, because that's going to let you know exactly when I drop these videos, so you can watch the videos and be cool. Anyways, guys, be good kids, take it easy. 11-11, guys, peace.